Hi everyone, welcome back to another Barely Art beginner-friendly video. Today we're going to learn how to design a milk carton box and using our free SVGs, milk carton box, and firefighter dog set. So first off, we have a couple other videos right now if you want to check those out to get a feel for some other projects we've done in the past. Those projects will be used on our lives, so we'll not only be going through this design process, but then later you know how to be able to actually assemble the project. So as usual, start on barely.art. On our website, you can check out all of our free craft SVGs. And then here, I'll be looking up two SVGs that you will be downloading. They are both free. One is recent, so it's Firefighter Dog Set. And then the other is the Milk Carton Box. So we have a few different box SVGs here. You can go to our filters on the left and see all the different boxes we have. Our milk carton box is on the second page right now, or you can just search it up at the top. It looks like this. It's two milk carton boxes. One is kind of tall and one's more short and square. You can add to cart. Once they're added to cart, you can check out. Right here, you'll just fill in your information, email, and billing address. Although these are free, and you can tell that in the total here, it does ask for billing address and email. The email is important because in case your SVGs don't load on the page correctly, because you can download straight from the website after this, then it'll go to your email as well, so you'll have like a backup just in case. If you want to see how to go through the whole process, you can check out our other design process videos, and we've gone through that. Today, I'm just going to go ahead and go straight to Cricut Design Space, and I already have my SVGs loaded in here. This is going to be what our end project looks like. But it starts off looking just a little different. So let me show you. Have them here in my uploads. I'm going to click this one, and I'm going to click this one. You can see them previewed here. Add to canvas. Alrighty, so here's our little set. The firefighter dog set has a little fire truck, a fire hydrant, a little firefighter helmet, a dog print, paw print, a little Dalmatian, and some, just a little flame right there. Okay, these pretty much don't change. As far as the way they look, we're good here. I'm only going to use the truck, flames, paw, and Dalmatian. I'm going to ungroup this up here. And then I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the ones I don't want just to avoid clutter. You can, of course, incorporate whichever ones you'd like. Alrighty. Now for the milk carton. I learned the hard way. I'm going to show you guys how to make this cutout of the paw print in the box. However, it is important where you put the cutout of the paw print because I did a test run and it's covering the paw print. It's a little tab here, so I need to be putting the paw print on this side. So just a heads up, we're going to do that the right way this time. And I'll show you guys how I could have previewed it in here and maybe avoided it before I cut out the papers, but that's okay. Alrighty, so we've got our projects. I'm going to ungroup this one. And then these are the little decoration squares. I'm going to put them to the side. And I just need to change these to score points or score lines. So the score lines and the box are in the same group, which makes it a little difficult. This is how I do it if it's in one group. Usually we separate them, but this is a little bit of an older one. So I'm just going to take the milk carton shape, not the lines, and Control X, which is cut. And now all of these are together by themselves. I'm going to paste the Control V and paste it down again. And then I'm just going to take the lines and go over here for score. And click both. Oops. an aligned center. Let me move my shape back in here, the bottom, and then, oops. So I can center, I forgot, I can't center this one because of the bottom tabs, but that's okay. I can align to the top. Align top. It's not aligning to the top. Hold on. Oh, it might be because I'm in the same group. Let me take this one out again. Control, cut, and paste. I'm going to put the lines above this so they're still separate. Align top, and then align to the side. I'm going to pick the left side because that's where the score lines go all the way out to. Here we go, and we're all set. So now I'm going to attach these together. They're both highlighted, attach. And that'll be exactly what I need to cut out. Okay. So this is what it looks like. If you want to stop here, you can, and just make a milk carton box and decorate it that way. But I want to make a little something different and show you guys a new technique, which is to make this little hollow point for the paw print. So the sizing is the same here. It's a 6.75 by 7.5 inches. And now this one, this is the incorrect one here. I want to show you guys what I could have previewed it and probably could have avoided wasting my paper. So I'm going to control duplicate this one. See that the cutout is already there. And if I have put them over each other, you can see here that it does overlap and it kind of peeks through the paw print. So I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to put the paw print in this centered piece. No tabs will go over it because the tab is to the side here. Okay. So this paw print has different shapes, and this causes a slight problem for the slice tool because the slice will only take 2 shapes. Anything else and it'll gray out like it is right here. So I need to get this one to become one shape, and that's really easy. I'm going to weld, even though they're not overlapping. And now it's just one basic cut. Okay. All right, now I need to get it in the center here. Zoom in a little bit. All right, now I do want, I'm gonna want some different decorations on the outside. I planned for, over here, to put some clearly craft plastic in the background. So that way if I put any candies inside, if it was small, it won't fall through any holes here. And then I also want a gold frame around here. So I'm going to want to make sure those are properly sized. So this is the squares I'm working with. I'm going to ungroup. I'm going to move this over here. Now it is hidden behind here, so I'm going to put bring to front. And I'm going to also bring this one to front, so it'll go over the square. All right, so I'm going to try and about center that. And that's pretty much the closest I can get to the edges without it actually accidentally covering a crease or like kind of folding off. So this is my biggest size that I could put on here. And I want to go inward, so I'm going to do an offset. I'm going to do a negative offset. I'm going to click this, make sure I have a nice crisp square. Probably about right here. So this is about, I'm going to do negative 0.175, apply. And this is the square I'm working with now. So 2 things. This is the, I'm going to want to duplicate, which is Control D. So I can have the clearly craft plastic. I'm going to go ahead and change the color there for now. And then I'm going to want, over here and see my image. So it's the clearly and then the frame. So I'm going to want to highlight both squares and slice. And now I have my gold frame here. Backspace, I can show you there. All right. And the smaller square we're going to keep so we can know how to size our paw. So my range, bring to front again. Make it smaller. Now, I realized when I was working on this that, funny enough, because that we're going to cut the paw out and then make an offset inward and outward. If you don't do an inward offset, the paw is too big and the in-between cuts are going to be very thin. And that's not necessarily a problem, but it's kind of weaker. And although we're going to reinforce it with clearly, I want to keep it, make sure my Cricut doesn't accidentally pull the paper or tear it that way, so I don't have to recut it again. So I'm going to do both. So I'm keeping it inside this square here. This is the biggest I want to do it on the square. It's going to want to touch all 4 sides because that is going to give you a nice stability. It won't be popping out or pulling out or folding out anywhere. It's nice and connected on all 4 sides. So first I'm going to be about the size that I want it to be looking. And then I want to center it. I'm going to hold that, shift, and the smaller gray square, align center. Okay. This is the slightly tricky part. Let's make sure I remember how to do this right so I can show you guys. All right, offset, inward offset, about this much point, negative 0.125, apply. And then in outward offset, I want to be rounded here. Let's go with positive 0.125, apply. Okay. Now I'm going to hide this one and slice. As I drag my pieces away, this is the paw print I'll be putting into the square. So it's still not connecting on all 4 sides. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger until it does. Center again. And it's one in the center of that big square. So I'm just using my arrow keys to kind of put it in the center without moving it because I'm not cutting the frame, I'm cutting the box itself. Okay. So I'm going to hide the frame so we can see how close we are. Make it a little bigger until it covers everything. Okay, there, now we're touching on all 4 sides. You can see because it's going over this square. And we are going to actually be cutting it out of the box itself. No, we're not. We're cutting it out of the square first. So we need to hide the paw print and then highlight this square along with this one. But I think because it's attached, I'm not sure if it'll work. So let's see. Hold on. Let's grab this piece and this square. Shift, hold, slice. Okay, that's fine. I did bring it out of the attachment, but we can put it back in. And then we're going to get our paw print back. Bring it to the front. And good. It's still where it needs to be centered. And hide it really quick. And let's go ahead and get rid of these squares. Show the paw print. And then weld these two. Shift, click both, and weld. There we go. See, now we've connected in the paw prints right in the center. And then I also wanted to hide the smaller cuts just to give this more strength. Again, if you're putting something heavy, there's candies, or maybe you're putting little goodies in here, you want it to be nice and sturdy. So I'm going to use my contour tool on the bottom right to fill in the smaller cuts. So, oopsie. This little one and this one up here. And let's see what it looks like. Okay. I think I want to keep the one on the top. Keep it more paw prints. I'm going to go over there, click it, and there it is again. All right, so now we have our paw print. We can delete these. Everything we've hidden is no longer needed except for the frame, I think. Let's see which one is. Oh, the frame's down here. Okay, cool. So we can go ahead and delete this one, and this one. This frame, let's bring it to the front. You can see it. I want it to be a shiny gold, so I'm going to change the color. I want this one to be nice fire truck red. And then I want to bring this into the attachment again. I'll go ahead and put it down here. And the attachment. It has to be below all the lines. It needs to be the most bottom one. Okay, perfect. I'm going to go ahead and save. Don't forget to save your projects. Alrighty. And zoom out again. So this piece is going to go in the back of everything. I'll put this aside. And then these pieces I want to match with the frame. So I'm going to make them gold. I'm going to highlight them all and then change the color. I'm also going to bring those to the front. It looks like this. This square, though, will be on this side now. And then we don't need this one. Okay. Now we're almost there. We've set it up pretty good here. Let's see, this is going to go back. I don't want to arrange it. Let's send it to the back. There. So that's what kind of it's going to look like. Now we want the fire and the Dalmatian. So the Dalmatian, we're going to do a little playing with. I don't want, because it's going to be so small on the box, I don't want to make too many layers here. It's going to get very tiny. So I'm going to bring to the front so you can see where he's going. It's going on the side of the carton. It's going to get pretty small. And there's a lot of small cuts on him because of the little his little Dalmatian spots. So I'm going to do some print and cut with him, but not all of it because I don't want to lose all the dimension that he has. So let us ungroup him and see what we've got. So I like to keep, for dimension reasons, I want to keep a solid back. I'm going to want to have the sort of like the front of the body, like where his front paws are. And then I'm going to want his face. So I'm going to have face, body, and then a full back. So we're going to go here and connect these two together. And we are going to flatten. Then we're going to do the same for the next two layers. And flatten. And then the next two layers. Flatten. I'm going to leave his collar out. I think the Cricut can handle that one. So now I just need to arrange it to the right showing here. So I'm going to bring this back. And bring this one back. It might be in the middle. No, this is his face. This is his body. There we go. And then his collar on top. There we go. So now we have, instead of the, 6 cuts for all of him, we now have lowered it to 3, and they're print and cut, so it's going to be a little bit easier on us to arrange them. So I'm going to get the whole thing, group, I'm going to fit them on my little square here. Looks pretty good as is. Yeah, I think he's good size right there. And then the next part is the fire or the flame here. I'm going to want to put it on top. I want it to fit there. You can put a name there as well, but if you don't want to put a name, you can just put the flame. Arrange, bring to front. And then I'm going to have it fit. It'll be pretty small, but it's only 2 cuts, so it's nothing crazy. Save. Always want to save. And then we've got our milk carton almost all the way set up. But as you see here, there's a duplicate. And we want there to be a duplicate because this is only half the carton. So the SVG, when you download it, it has it has cut 1, cut 2. They're the same. So once I've designed this side, I'm just going to duplicate it. I don't want to get the other cut. I don't need both of them. I just need this one. So I'm going to highlight everything. Control D. And here we go. And as you can see, the tab is not going to go through the paw print anymore like I did the first time because it's going right behind this full side. All right, save again. Great. Okay, so my milk carton's all set up. Now for the cake topper part to tie in the theme. It's really just the fire truck. And I'm going to I'm going to change some colors, and then I'm just going to add an outline on the back of it. So let's zoom in. So I want the colors to match. I want to use pretty much the same reds, mostly for, because I only have so many red papers already in my paper pack back there. But if you have more reds, you want to use, something different for each one, that's up to you. Totally up to you. Get creative, but I'm going to keep it pretty similar. So one thing I do is once I've picked my colors here, I'm like, oh, this is going to be my foil gold, and this is going to be my dark fire truck red. I go to color sync, and you can see that they have it's over here on the right side. Next to your layers, you click this, and you can see all the colors that you're using right now. So for example, this red is what I'm using over here for the milk carton. I want the fire truck to match. So down here is the fire truck. I'm going to pull it. I'm just going to push it up to the other red, and it's going to automatically change my colors. So it's really easy, just like that. And then for my yellows, I want to make sure it's differentiated really well. They will be when you make it, and you'll have your different colors, but I want to make sure I remember. So I'm going to change some of these to this paler yellow down here because it's going to be just flat matte yellow instead of the foil because the foil is such a big part on the background. So I'm going to go ahead and change these to my other color that I already have set. And I'm going to leave the spotlights and push those to the gold because I want those to be shiny. And I think that's everything here. There are 2 blacks up here, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and move it to the same. I just need 1. And then the gray I also want to move for paper consumption and put it down here so it matches my grays. So now I've cut down a few of my colors in a very quick, easy way. Save it. And let's see what size I want it to be. It's already about 6 inches lengthwise, and then about 3.5 inches tall. So that's about kind of short, but not bad. I think the 6 inches is pretty good as far as a cake topper goes. Let me see, my example one is a little smaller. I think I'm going to go ahead and keep it at this size. I think that works for me. And then all I want to do here is I don't have to change any layers or anything. I'm just going to click the whole group and then offset. Apply. Now, this one, as you can see, has some holes in it. So when this happens, all I got to do is go to contour, hide all contours. Now it's one solid piece. I'm going to change it to the blue acetate. And now it'll fit on there just right. So now when I make it, I'll have a nice background to put everything on and just kind of give it a little shiny outline without making it the center of the show because we want the fire truck to be the center. And since it's in a group, it'll act as one. So I'm going to align center. And there we go. I'm going to go ahead and group this so I can move it together. And we have our set. All right, and that's all I've got for designing purposes. This is everything you need to know to design it. I'm going to go ahead and also just go to the make button so we can go through those processes. But if you have more ideas you want to share, don't forget to comment on this video or our past videos, and or go on our Instagram. Instagram is @barelyarts, and then we're also on Facebook and TikTok. So feel free to interact with us there, or of course, watch our lives on Fridays. Sign up for our emails so you know when the lives are coming out. Okay, so now I'm going to go to make sure everything is attached where it's supposed to be. If something isn't attached, the attached lines will show up on their own page, and you'll know that then they're not going to score. I'm sorry, these score lines will show up on their own page, and you'll know they won't be scoring on your paper. So it looks like everything is attached. You can double check. Yep. So those will score and they will cut. Easy peasy. Alrighty, I think that looks good. Now I have our print and cut. I don't have my printer connected to the computer right now, but let me go just show you the process a little bit. So everything's arranged here. You don't need to move anything. In fact, usually I recommend you don't move anything because I can move these faces and such. But if I do, and then I leave and I hadn't printed or something, and then I come back, it won't save where you put it here. So if I printed this out and then I exited because I had to go somewhere and I come back to try and print, it'll have moved this face back to where it was originally, and it won't match up with what you printed previously. So just a little tip, just so you know. All right, continue. Now, of course, you have the material here. This automatically knows that it's going to be a print and cut. You're going to send it to printer, and whichever printer you're using, usually that comes up with its own message. So you can change the material types or how much ink it's going to be using, the copies. That might be hidden behind Cricut Design Space. So if you're not seeing that pop up from your printer, just minimize your page so you can find it. So you send a printer, and then you go, or if you've already printed it, like right now I don't have it, so I'm going to go ahead and press I've already printed. And then it would go to your device, but mine's not connected right now. But this is where you would just start doing the cutting once you've picked your material. So for the printing, once that's done, you need to be connected to your device, whether it's through the wire or through Bluetooth. I don't have mine connected right now, so if you have yours connected, it'll show up here, the materials, and then you'll just be going through. It'll ask you for which blade you're using. So usually we use a fine cut blade, and then we also use the score pin on there. If you don't have a score pin, you can pretty much hand score these. If you have like a score board, that'll work too. They're not very complicated lines. They're pretty straight through all the way. The only more difficult to hand score would be these triangles here. But I think it's set up where you'd be able to if you wanted to. And then let me just show you what these look like. So it would go all the way through here. There's a small line here, and then this triangle. And those are the ones that would be a little trickier to hand score, but doable. Very doable. Alrighty, so on the rest of your pieces, all you'd have to do is click whatever page you're on. This will go down each one automatically, and then you just change the material you're using. And on your machine, you click the flashing load button for your mat, and then the flashing cut button, and you're all set. Don't forget to change the material at the very end. is always where our acetate seems to be. And it needs to change the material. So don't forget, you've been doing the same cardstock for a while. So sometimes I forget. But don't forget to change that material. And then you're all set. So now you know how to design the fire truck, dog set, and cake topper. So we will be doing this project on one of our next lives. So be on the lookout for that, because then we will be showing you how to assemble the whole thing. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I really like this one because it's a little different, and then you can change the shape. It doesn't have to be a dog paw print. It could be something else. But now you know the technique to use to cut this out of your next box. All right, guys. Don't forget, if you have more ideas or more questions for Design Space or for SVGs, don't forget to leave them in the comments or follow us on our social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and of course, YouTube, to go ahead and comment there, interact with us, and watch our next live. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.